That's the trick cyclist we passed on the way in. We thought he was an errand boy.
That's Captain Errand Boy to you, Second Lieutenant. And unless you're dressed for a masquerade, I fully expect to be saluted.
Captain, really? No, he's quite right.
You clearly have no idea who these gentlemen are.
2 officers of junior rank.
The brothers, Prince Sixtus and Prince Xavier of Bourbon-Parma.
You see, Captain, our sister is the Empress Zita of Austria. Her husband, Emperor Karl, wishes to negotiate a peace settlement separate from Germany.
My God, Germany would lose its major ally.
It would pull the rug right out from under the Kaiser.
What would my part be in this?
You are to escort Lieutenant Sixtus and Xavier into Vienna. There they will meet secretly with Emperor Karl and try to secure in writing certain concessions demanded by my government. You will then get the brothers safely back to France.
If we succeed, we can put an end to this war with the stroke of a pen, without another shot being fired or another life lost. Interested?
Finally! We thought you'd never make it.
We're not the only ones.
Prayed for this day.
How long has it been? 3 years?
Oh, it's more like 4.
And who is this third man?
This is Captain Henri de France, our spy. He got us into Vienna. If not for him, Lord knows what would have become of us.
Well done, Captain. We're most grateful.
Summon Count Czernin immediately. Tell him the package has arrived.
So you see, Count Czernin, the French and British governments are most anxious to declare peace with Austria, but only if Karl is willing to grant 3 key concessions in writing.
And those are?
Number 1, Austria must agree to support the French claim to the region of Alsace-Lorraine.
Go on.
2, Austria must recognize Belgian sovereignty and agree to the evacuation of all German troops from Belgian territory.
3, we must restore Serbian sovereignty and grant them the economic concessions they seek.
These demands are somewhat problematic.
But not altogether unjustified.
Oh, I agree. But there are many in the Empire who would not. If I may speak frankly, there are those who would view these concessions as a betrayal. Perhaps even treasonous.
Who would dare?
The Kaiser, for one. Your Imperial Majesty knows that I have no wish to anger you. I was foreign minister to your great uncle, the Emperor Franz Joseph, for many years, and I hope to be yours for many years to come. But we are not just talking about peace with France, we are also talking about an end to our alliance with Germany, and this is not a matter to be taken lightly. The Kaiser can be a powerful enemy, as England and France have already learned.
I understand that, Count. But all that must be weighed against the realities of this war. Of course, we could go on until one side crushes the other completely. But at what cost?
Diplomacy demands.
It's the failure of diplomacy that's got us into this mess.
Your Imperial Majesty has strong views.
But she's right, isn't she? Look at Russia, my God, a revolution. The Tsar deposed by his own people. And why? Because they are weary of war. They are angry and dissatisfied. If we want to stop the same thing happening in Austria, we have to liberalize the monarchy and give the people what they want, peace, whatever the cost. I'm not merely being noble. It's not just the men in the trenches I want to save. I don't want to go down in history as the last emperor of Austria. The one who let a 1,000-year monarchy crumble through his fingers like dust.
Very well. I will draft a letter. Will tomorrow be soon enough?
As soon as you can, Count. Thank you.
No, let go of it! No, let go of it! Now look what you've done, you've broken it!
Stop this nonsense right now. If you made an effort to share your toys instead of fighting over them, nobody would have broken it and you could have both played. Instead, each of you ends up with nothing. Am I right?
Yes, Mum. Yes, Mum.
Comrades, a question. How many more of your young men must die in this war before the capitalists who started it are satisfied? Before they have enough profit from building the tanks, the guns, the shells? How many? 50,000, a million, 2 million? I say none! I say stop the war now! Our demands are simple. We want peace for the soldier. We want bread for our workers. We want land for our peasants. No! But that is only the beginning. When we come to power, we will utterly change this nation into something the world has never seen before. Under communism, Russia will be governed by the people. In one great armed militia, ordinary people running their everyday affairs themselves. The dictatorship of the proletariat! This will develop into a society so perfect that the state itself will wither away. What do Kerensky and the provisional government offer instead? Capitalism with lighter chains for the workers. There can be no compromise with these frauds. Peace, bread, land. Keep on saying it until all Russia rises up to demand it, and then we will lead the proletariat to victory!
But Mr. Diaghilev...
I thought I could make a revolution in art with movement and music and color. But with a performance such as yours, these weapons turn to dust in my hands!
Mr. Diaghilev!
The old order triumphs. All because you cannot stand still.
Hi, Sergei! I have new dancer for you.
What?
Dancer? I never want to see another dancer.
I'm not a dancer.
Ah, then you're hired.
Hey, look!
I need someone who knows how to stand still. Drop your trousers.
Now listen.
I wish to look at your legs.
You want a yard, don't you?
Well... Very well. I will make you a eunuch.
Eunuch? In
This, who could resist?
Ha, Indian, you were born to be a eunuch. Come, meet my fiancée, Olga.
Hi there. How do you like my costume, Inji?
That's a costume?
Of course.
What do you expect when you hire Picasso? Stravinsky revolutionizes the music, Nijinsky revolutionized the dance. Hi! Revolutionize the look!
Sprang through just now. Inji, Miss Kamanievsky.
The man with too many names. Delighted to meet you, Igor.
I'm not leaving without Form 27A. I need Form 27A to get this form stamped. And I'm not leaving without it! I'm not!
They said you want Form 27A?
Yes, that's what they told me. I went to 4 different desks in 4 offices, and everyone said that someone else had it!
Well, nobody has it. Form 27A has been superseded by Form 27B.
What?
I thought everybody knew that.
This is absolutely ridiculous. All I want is a new phone. I went to the Ministry of Phones, and my form blew out the window. And then I went out on the ledge, and a pigeon knocked it into the street. And then a man stepped on it. And then I had to chase after a tram. And then a woman hit me with her handbag. And so I went to the police. They made me fill it out in German. And then they gave me the 3rd degree. And then they put me in jail.
What you're trying to say is you're upset.
No, I'm not upset. I'm incandescent with rage! What if I took your telephone? Huh? What if I steal your telephone? And then you'd have to go through everything that I've gone through to get it back and you'd go insane!
The thing is, you're also in the wrong office. I investigate industrial accidents. But to be honest with you, I feel like a break. Shall I come round with you and see if we can track this thing down together?
You need help me?
Why not?
Yeah, that'd be great.
My name is Kafka, Franz Kafka.
Indiana Deus Schubelgruber.
This way, Mr. Schubelgruber.
We have attacked the Turks here, at Gaza. Both attacks failed. I intend to be in Jerusalem by Christmas.
And how do you propose to achieve that, sir?
By turning the enemy's flank. By making what I believe to be in certain sporting circles is termed as an end run. In other words, gentlemen, by taking Beersheba.
An attack on Beersheba means crossing the desert. There's not a drop of water between here and there.
There's plenty of water in Beersheba. Colonel Minershagen.
If the men travel light...
Travel light? 50,000 men would need 400,000 gallons of water a day.
Not if they make a lightning dash across the desert and take Beersheba before Johnny Turk knows what's hit him.
And the wells in Beersheba are still intact when your forces break through.
You don't like the idea, Major Lawrence?
I like the idea of Jerusalem by Christmas, sir. But a march across the desert will be no picnic.
So then, everything depends on those wells in Beersheba. With the right element of surprise, we can do it. I shall start a major espionage campaign to make them think that we are going to continue our main attack on Gaza.
You'll need to put somebody into Beersheba to keep a watch over those wells.
Well, I have contacts there, but I need to send in somebody special. A trained agent. Somebody who speaks both Arabic and Turkish. Absolutely trustworthy.
I know the man you want. He works for French intelligence in Cairo. He's one of the best. And an old friend.
Get him.
It could be a clever attempt to mislead us.
Nonsense. The man who dropped this was shot. Notes the blood. Also, many of these items are personal. Money, letters. Here's one from his wife. They just had a baby. I tell you, these documents are real. There is no mistaking it. The British are preparing a major offensive on Gaza.
They've tried twice and failed with horrifying losses. So why try again? If I were the British, I'd stop trying to kick the front door in. Sneak around the back of the house and enter through the window. Right here at Beersheba.
Move a large force across barren desert. Don't be absurd. It's all in here. All the proof I need. I intend to inform General von Kriechenstein immediately.
Of course. You are his head of intelligence. Let me tell you something, Captain. While you place your call to Gaza, I'll order my men to start rigging the wells with dynamite.
A waste of effort.
A last resort. If you are wrong, and the British do come here, I'll see that they're deprived of the very thing they need most.
Say hello to my mates. Fellas, this is Henry.
G'day, Henry. Dex.
G'day, Kevin.
Desert.
Come on, drink up and help us settle this.
The army will break camp and move out into the desert. The men will carry water for 2 days only. I repeat, 2 days only. Any questions?
At our destination, say?
For the moment, unknown. Very well, we march in 1 hour.
That was a pretty good trick you pulled, Capitan, huh? The ambulance, remember?
Yeah.
Hey, Ernie Hemingway from Chicago.
Indiana Jones. Most people call me Andy.
Indy.
Ernie?
Thanks. Yeah. You speak darn good English, huh?
I should. I'm from New Jersey.
No kidding. Hey, that's the Croix de Guerre you got there, huh? Médaille militaire. That means you're wounded. Hey, did it hurt?
It always hurts.
Huh, gee. I'd like to win a medal. Any medal.
Well, don't be too hasty. You might get yourself killed.
Oh, no, I won't get killed not driving an ambulance. Not enough action. Hey, what's up with you, buddy? You look like you've been hit by a truck.
It's my girl.
Your girl?
I got this girl. I'm crazy about her. Everything was going great. And while I was away on my last mission, some guy starts to move in on her.
What the rat?
He's giving her flowers and presents. He's really romancing her, and I think he's getting somewhere.
Tell you what you gotta do. You gotta beat him.
Beat him?
Yeah, evaporate him. Make him a memory.
I don't even know who he is.
No, it doesn't matter. No, see, you gotta compete, you hear me? I mean, no holds barred. You know, he gives your girl flowers, you give her more flowers, huh? He gives your girl presents, you give her more presents. I mean, I'm telling you, buddy, hey, dames, they really go for that kind of thing.
You sure?
Yeah, positive. Heck, it's what I always do. Hey, love is like war, Indy. To the victor go the spoils, huh? Hey, you gotta try some of this local grappa. Knock the enamel off your teeth, huh? To love and war.
Love and war. You're gonna love it. The wine is strong, the women are beautiful, and in Pamplona at fiesta time, they run the bulls right through the streets.
Yeah, I gotta go there someday. Hey, now wait. Now remember, you have to compete.
Compete,
Huh?
right.
You gotta beat this other guy out of sight.
Out of sight,
Huh?
right.
Now, what are you gonna do?
Hemingway, we're
Yep.
gonna go in and we're gonna win!
Hey, listen. I got a buddy that works in the commissary, huh? Now, if that rat is your girl, a bar of soap, huh? My buddy will get you 2 bars.
2 bars.
2! Hey,
Right.
anything you need.
Thanks, Tim. You're a pal.
Hey, it's my pleasure, old man. Hey, and if you do meet that rat...
I'll beat the crap out of him.
Oh, and I'll help you.
That's right.
That's right.
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 There was nobody there.
Could be a trap. You want to call the plan off?
I still think it's worth taking a chance.
It's your life, Captain.
Yes, sir.
What's up? You seem jumpy.
I'm not jumpy, I just want to get back.
Strain getting to you, Captain?
No, sir, I just got my mind on something else. Miss Wharton, Henry Duval,
You're American, surely.
New Jersey. It's a pleasure to meet you, ma'am.
How delightful. Happy to know you, Captain DeVoe.
Watch your step here.
Thank you. Oh, no. I hate to ride by myself. Come on, sit with me, please. There. That's so much nicer.
But the truth of it is, my name is Henry Jones. I just named myself Indiana after my dog, so my friends call me Indy.
Then so shall I. Indy, I like it. And you must call me Edith.
All right, Edith.
Mrs. Wharton! Mrs. Wharton!
My name's Lowell Thomas, U.S. Government Information Service.
How do you do?
Oh, terrific, thanks. They told me I'd find you here.
They?
General Lottie's guys at HQ. Boy, do we hightail it to catch up with you.
I'm not sure I understand.
Well, I'm writing for American newspapers, and you're on your way to Hadron, right? Well, the idea is that I go along with you.
You go with us.
Right. Hi, good to know you.
Captain Duvall, French Foreign Legion. Can I see your papers, please?
Sure. Famous American author, Darkest Africa. Could be a terrific story.
I am not here to promote myself, Mr. Thomas.
No, sure, but it's great human interest. Folks back home could really go for it, and I'll show how much we're doing to win this war. Mrs. Wharton, look, I won't be in the way. Anything I write, I'll let you see it. If you don't like it, it's spiked. That's a promise, okay?
Very well.
Oh, great. You won't regret it. You won't even know I'm here.
Teyze. Jolly. Görüyorsun ki konuklarımız var. We have visitors.
Ama ben seni istiyorum. Benimle oynar mısın?
Sen şimdi odana arkadaşlarının yanına git. Ben birazdan yanına geleceğim, tamam mı? Such a strong little creature. And yet what she needs most is simply to know that she is loved. I brought her with me from Syria. I don't know whether she's Turkish, Armenian, or Kurdish. At first, she was too shocked even to speak. I believe she saw her parents butchered before her eyes. Now you see, Mr. Anderson, why this terrible war must end.
Yes. You said you have some news for me?
Oh, yes. A friend of mine spoke to General Mustafa Kemal about you. He has agreed to an interview. He suggests 5 o'clock this evening at Hotel Perapalace. Would that be convenient?
Yes. Yes, of course. Thank you.
Mr. Anderson, sir.
It's very good of you to see me, sir. It's a great honor to meet the hero of Gallipoli.
There were many heroes at Gallipoli. Unfortunately, the victory we won there has since been squandered. Sit down. What did you want to ask me?
Well, sir, I had the great pleasure of meeting Halid Adib, and she spoke of the great importance of Turkish identity and taking pride in your own language and also in national character. I was wondering if you agree.
Agree? Those are the very things I've set out to achieve. She's a very intelligent woman. She's an idealist. I'm a soldier. I fight to get things done.
And at present you are fighting under the command of the Germans. Presumably you have a combined strategy. But are you satisfied with that?
The German strategy seems to be come and defeat us if you can. A German officer said to me the other day at the palace, Turkish soldiers always run away. I said Turkish soldiers never run away unless their officers run away first. And in this case, their officers are mostly German.
Write it down, print it. My opinions are well known.
Thank you, sir. So, it must be quite difficult fighting with German allies when your aims and objects are so different from theirs.
What do you imagine to be my aims and objects?
I would assume the return of Syria by France to Turkish influence after the war, the re-establishment of the authority to Turkey over the possessions of the Ottoman Empire.
I've no interest in preserving the Ottoman Empire. I'm interested in maintaining the integrity of Turkish borders and in building the future of this nation.
Sir, if the French could guarantee this, you might be interested in making a separate peace?
Tell me, Mr. Anderson, are you here as an interviewer or emissary?
Beg your pardon, sir?
Are you empowered to make that offer?
Not precisely, sir. But as a citizen of a neutral country, I was asked to use my good offices to discover whether such an approach by the French government would be welcome.
In principle or in fact?
Well, sir, if you were to say that you might be interested in principle, then it would be possible for me to contact you again with the precise terms.
Obviously, I can make no such response.
No, sir, but if I could...
I shall be leaving for the front very soon.
Yes, sir.
Let me arrange another meeting with you before I leave. By the way, I hear that you have a charming friend at the American orphanage. American girls are so delightful, aren't they?
Buyurduğunuza çok sevindim. Teşekkür ederim.
This is Mr. Nils Anderson of the Balkan News Agency, Your Highness.
Oh, you're Swedish, aren't you, Mr. Anderson?
Yes, sir.
There is so much propaganda published against us and our good friends, the Germans, that it is good to have impartial observers working here. I'm glad to see you.
Thank you, sir.
It is with serene confidence that I look forward to the sunlit epoch that will follow our eventual victory in this great conflict.
Who are you? I said, who are you?
Good evening, Captain Jones.
How do you know my name?
This is my home. I know all that goes on under its roof.
General Targo, correct?
Have you brought terms for your army's surrender?
I didn't come here to surrender.
Pity.
I came here to find the agents that were sent here. And you're gonna tell me where they are, I'm gonna blow your head off, understand?
You are American, aren't you?
You've got 5 seconds.
So theatrical, so melodramatic, so American. You want to see your colleagues? I'll take you to them. They've been waiting for you.
Henry Jones Jr., is that you?
Yes, sir, Mr. Carter.
I say, it's been 10 years. I wouldn't have recognized you.
This is my friend, Remy Bedouin.
Hello. Please, sit down. Oh, this dusty creature is E.M. Forster. He's a writer, not an archaeologist, as he has proven again today.
Some of us dig in the dirt, some of us like to dig into men's souls.
When he was just a boy, Henry helped me with an excavation at the Valley of the Kings.
Yes, we discovered Ka's tomb.
Yes, you were quite helpful. I could use some of that help now, looking for King Tutankhamun's tomb.
Really? Well, that'd be great. I'd love to work with you again. But Remy and I are on a business trip, so...
Business? I thought you were going to become an archaeologist.
Yes, sir, I'd still like to, but right now our business must require all our attention.
What sort of business?
Actually, it's sort of research. We're trying to find out what Alexander the Great's most important triumph was. We thought that by looking at some of the sculpture, we might figure something out.
Well, Forster might be able to help you. He's writing a book on Alexandria.
Our history and a guide. I would consider it his vision to conquer the entire Persian Empire and spread Hellenic thought.
That's the romantic view.
You calling me a romantic?
Yes.
Well, all right, I admit I'm a romantic.
And I disagree with you. I don't think Alexander's greatest triumph was his thirst for conquest. I'd like to think it was more noble.
But if you had to pick an event, one particular triumph that maybe this drawing might make you think of.
Well, there's uniting Greece, or crossing the desert to Susa, or cutting the Gordian knot.
Did Alexander ever take a holiday?
Or there's discovering the oasis of Siwar and being acknowledged as the son of Amon-Ra.
Deification.
Forster, looking at this drawing, is there nothing that comes to mind?
Alexander and his army trekking.
His greatest triumph, conquering the New World.
Cutting the Gordian knot.
Uniting Greece. Alexander was the greatest general ever. But how many acquired the status of a god? That's gotta be his greatest triumph.
Welcome to the Trobriand Islands. The Kyrewinians are your hosts. I'm Bronislav Malinowski. I'm studying these people. Who are you?
Indiana Jones. We're travelers from Europe. We came by way of Java.
An American.
And a Belgian, Remy Baudouin.
They have brought you to impress the Kyrewinians in friendship.
Well, that's what I don't understand. They just got finished killing each other.
They don't fight because they're enemies. They fight because the ghosts want them to. The ghosts require the battle.
Ghosts?
A ghost wants the battle, oh yes. If he doesn't get it, he'll bring sickness, blights to crops, droughts, floods.
Well, then it's all just a vicious circle. And the battles never stop.
Take your clue from the people, young man. They bear no ill will to each other.
Listen, sir. All we want is to get back to civilization.
This is civilization.
A civilized civilization.
Goodbye, Amata.
So far.
I've told them I'll take charge of you. Come, it's this way to the village.
France will have territory, she will have treasure. I speak for the nation which, more than any other, has fought and bled. I speak for the nation which, more than any other, has brought victory over our barbarous foe. I speak for France. France declares that never again will she suffer invasion of her borders. Never again will she submit to the destruction of her countryside and the slaughter of her citizens. To this end, she will have justice and security on her own terms. Then, and only then, will France grant peace. France is great, her voice is loud, and her glorious people will accept nothing less. No one has anything more to say. La séance est levée.
So I took my discharge from the Belgian army. I just decided it was time I quit being a spy.
Well, in your last letter, you talked of going to college.
Well, my boss says there's a chance of a job in the State Department, so...
You're going to be a diplomat.
Maybe.
Oh, Henry, beware. The snares and delusions of diplomacy are not to be embraced lightly. As Arnold will tell you. Everyone, please, do you know Arnold Toynbee? If I may say, our most distinguished historian. Arnold, this is Gertrude Bell.
A great pleasure.
Mr. Toynbee.
And my friend, Henry Jones.
Pleasure to meet you, sir. How do you do?
But Arnold, please. You see, Arnold's the man who really knows what's going on here.
I wouldn't say that.
He's part of the official British delegation, unlike people like me.
I've been out trying to catch sight of the German delegation.
Oh, really?
They're due in tonight. Nobody's seen them.
Don't be trying to sneak in the back way.
It's true. The feeling against them is frightening.
I read the newspapers. I've seen the demonstrations as well, and my fear is that we do not have statesmen with enough courage to resist the public demands for revenge.
I don't know. I've been watching our president. No, really, he's a fine man.
He's a fine man obsessed with forming his absurd League of Nations. And meanwhile, he's giving way to every bloodthirsty demand. He's completely outwitted. Clemenceau, a dinosaur, baying for blood. Lloyd George, a politician with no vision or morality at all.
There's just been a war. The worst war in history. People have fought and died. You can't just expect that they'll turn around and forgive.
You can't just wipe your enemy out. Years ago, Rome could just wipe Carthage out, but now the world has changed. Everything's connected. What has happened will happen again, for better or worse. History now moves in a spiral. These men are trying to force Germany down, but it cannot be done without terrible tragedy. Push Germany down and you'll pay a price. And one day it will once more rise to the top. But this lot are behaving like men with no memories. And those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat it.
Those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat it.
La séance est ouverte. His Excellency, the President of the United States.
Delegates, representatives, friends, for we are all friends here. We have now been engaged for 5 months on a course of framing a peace, a just peace, a lasting peace. Moreover, we have also been establishing for the first time in the history of mankind an international forum, a supreme body of world affairs. I refer to the League of Nations. That bright hope I know we all share. The aim of the League is simple, yet awe-inspiring. It is nothing less than the brotherhood of man, and with goodwill and calm endeavor, we shall succeed in our noble purpose. We shall succeed where great religions, where even Christianity itself has failed. Why has Jesus Christ so far not succeeded in inducing the world to follow his teachings in these matters? Friends, I will tell you, it is because he has taught the ideal without devising a practical means of attaining it. That is why I propose a practical scheme to carry out his purposes. That is why I offer you the League of Nations.
His Excellency, the President of the United States.
Delegates, friends, for we are all friends here. Now been engaged for 5 months on a course of framing a peace, a just peace, a lasting peace in our noble purpose. We shall succeed where great religions, where even Christianity itself has failed.
Gentlemen, I have to tell you, this is not the most important problem we face.
Oh, it's a waste of time discussing this. The future of Arabia is settled. France and Britain made an agreement.
Well, I wish it were as simple as that, you see. But Britain also made a promise to Prince Faisal.
I am sorry, that cannot be helped.
Well, it was a promise.
Which we knew nothing about. And let me remind you, Prime Minister, that you will get Iraq and the oil fields.
And let me remind you, sir, that France's contribution to the victory in Arabia was negligible.
Negligible?
Gentlemen, this is a pointless argument. I believe there's a matter of principle involved here. England and France have made a secret agreement. It is my passionate conviction that secret agreements belong to the past.
Mr. President,
you have both accepted my 14 points. We must have open agreements, openly arrived at. You've pledged yourself to these things. Very well. The answer to this problem, therefore, is simple. We go and consult the people themselves.
The people?
Exactly. The people of Arabia. We ask them what it is they want.
Ask them?
Yes.
Yes, I see. And what form would this exercise in democracy take?
I am proposing a commission. It will be their job to go and thoroughly investigate the wishes of the people of Arabia and to come back and report.
I understand, yes. Well, it's a brilliant solution. Don't you agree?
Then what do we say to Versailles tomorrow?
Say? Well, we say nothing. We just listen. Or at least we listen for now.
Is it your intention, sir, to speak to us directly or through an interpreter?
Prince Faisal asks me to interpret for him, if it pleases this great conference.
Colonel Lawrence, it pleases this conference very well.
أنا أتكلم باسم الفرسان الذين حملوا راية العرب في الصحراء الكبرى.
Prince Faisal speaks for the horsemen who carried the Arab flag across the great desert.
إننا لا نسأل معروفا.
We do not ask for favors,
ولكننا نريد العدل فحسب.
merely for justice and the fulfillment of your promises. We fought for the unity of our nation and the right to rule ourselves.
وإننا نذكركم أننا جميعا نتكلم لغة واحدة.
We remind you, we speak one language.
وأننا أمة واحدة.
We are one race.
إن أرضنا يجب
Our lands must not be divided and given as war booty to this or that colonial power. We did not overthrow the Turk to be enslaved again.
إن أمتي كانت أمة متحضرة في الوقت
Prince
الذي
Faisal says,
كان البرابرة
my people were civilized when every other country here was populated by barbarians.
يجب أن تتذكروا هذا.
You should remember this.
ولتتذكروا أيضا ما وعدتم
Remember
به.
too what you promised when you needed us. Liberty and independence in exchange for our help in the great battle.
لقد صدقناكم.
We believed you.
ووثقنا بكم.
We trusted you.
وربطنا قضيتنا
We joined our cause with yours.
وقاتلنا وقتلنا.
We fought and died.
ووفينا بدورنا
We
في
have kept our own part in this bargain.
التزمنا بوعدنا.
We have kept
وكل ما
our
نطلبه
word.
منكم هو أن
All we
تقدموا
ask
دليل
now is
على
that you
مجد
prove
بلادكم
the greatness
وتلتزموا
of your
بوعدكم.
nations and keep yours.
وفي مقابل ذلك
In return,
لكم من الامتنان والسلام الدائم.
we offer you gratitude and lasting peace. Thus speaks Prince Faisal. These are his words.
All right, when you get in there, keep it simple. Concentrate on the American. He'll listen, so speak mainly to him.
We understand. Thank you, sir.
Chokong, my man.
Come in.
On behalf of the people of Vietnam, we do not ask for independence or freedom from French colonial rule, only the implementation of these points. A general amnesty for all political prisoners, equal rights for the Vietnamese and the French, freedom of the press, freedom to meet and assemble, freedom to emigrate and travel abroad, better schools, abolition of rule by the French president's decree, and the appointment of Vietnamese members to the French Parliament. Sir, that is all.
Thank you. Your petition will be considered. Any questions? Monsieur Bertin.
Sorry. No. At least they heard us. I don't think they listen to anyone anymore.
Someday they will listen to Ho Chi Minh.
Ho Chi Minh?
That's what we call him. It means father of our country.
It's not a title I deserve. Thank you, Mr. Jones. You did your best.
Wir müssen gehen.
Gentlemen, plenipotentiaries of the German Empire, the hour has struck for the weighty settlement of our account. You have asked for peace, and we are disposed to give it to you. Does anyone wish to speak? Very well.
Gentlemen, we shall study this document. And when we have determined our position...
There is nothing to determine. The position is clear.
I mean, when negotiations begin.
Negotiations? There will be no negotiations. We have given you terms, and you will sign.
Are we not even to be allowed to respond to these demands?
You may make observations. You have 15 days. After that, you will sign.
Leaders of the Allied and associated powers, this treaty is nothing more than a continuation of the war.
Speak up, I cannot hear.
A continuation of the war by other means. The reparation payments you demand will ruin Germany. She will have no navy, no army to defend herself, her borders are violated, colonies stripped away, coal mines given to the Poles and the French. You compel us to acknowledge responsibility for the war and demand that we hand over our heroes to be tried as criminals. President Wilson, Germany laid down her arms according to the principles of your 14 points. This treaty here breaks every one of those points. May I remind you, sir, that the German armies marched home undefeated? Where is your peace? We have been betrayed. Oh, we know the hatred
which meets us here. This document proves it.
But you demand of us that we say we and we alone are guilty of having caused this war. Such a confession from my mouth would be a lie.
What did I tell you? The old German is still there.
This war was the greatest crime against humanity that any nation calling itself civilized has ever committed. Germany not only began it, but she is responsible, solely responsible for the inhuman way it was fought. Justice is what you ask for. Justice is what you shall have. The treaty must be accepted or rejected. Answer, are you ready to sign?
Yielding to overwhelming force, but without abandoning its view.
Speak up, I cannot hear.
This is shameful. Of the unheard of injustice of the terms.
Speak up.
The government of Germany declares it is ready to sign.
Deutschland mag unterschreiben. Ich kann nicht. Ich will nicht. Lass irgendjemand unterschreiben. Ich überlasse es dir.
Faites entrer les Allemands. We are here to sign a treaty of peace.
Isn't victory beastly?
Hey, buddy. Where you spring from? Last I heard you was in the war.
Well, I was. I just got back. So what are you doing here?
I'm seeing you at Rutgers Glee Club. We're giving a concert tonight. Come hear us.
I can't. My father, he's expecting me. If I don't give him notice.
Still keep you on a pretty tight rein, huh?
Yeah.
Some things don't change. But say, how about we get together next week sometime?
That's great. Yeah, we'll make a night of it. We'll get something to eat.
Oh, you know a place in Princeton where a white boy and a black boy can grab a beer and get something to eat?
Trust me.
That's my trouble, Jonesy. I always did. It's good seeing you.
You too. All finished.
Good. Same time tomorrow, then.
Professor Goddard. These altitude calculations, aren't they a bit extreme? I mean, 100,000 miles, that's pretty far.
What do you know about altitude calculations?
Well, not a whole lot, but in the war I was a flyer for a time, so I...
You flew in the war? Did you ever get to use rockets?
For signaling? No, not really.
Never mind.
But I've always been interested in rockets, ever since I read Jules Verne as a kid. Do you know From the Earth to the Moon?
Indeed, I do. What about H.G. Wells? Do you like his works, too?
Oh, he's fantastic. I love The Time Machine, and War of the Worlds, that was great.
Me too. In fact, it was reading H.G. Wells that first got me started on this.
Is that what you're working on? Rockets for signaling?
Rockets, yes. Signaling, no. Come with me.
How does it work?
How long have you got? See, the problem with ordinary rockets, the kind that people know about, is that they're inefficient. They can rise, but not very far.
Because the fuel it carries is only a small fraction of the rocket's total mass.
Exactly, but this rocket is 30 times more efficient.
How do you achieve that?
Well, in 3 crucial ways. The first is by using this tapering nozzle so that the thrust is concentrated. The second is by including a reloading device inside the rocket so that the fuel is used up only a little bit at a time.
Still, you're gonna need an awful lot of powder.
You don't have to use powder. A mixture of liquid oxygen and kerosene works much better.
Liquid fuel?
Right.
Well, how do you retrieve it?
Simple, by fitting it with a parachute.
Still, it's gonna burn out pretty quick.
True, which brings us to the third device. You see, if this one works, we'll build another one with 3 rockets fitted together in stages, or steps, if you like. So that when one is used up, it drops away and another one begins firing, and then another and another, and so on.
So the sky's the limit.
Why stop at the sky? Why not go on beyond?
Beyond the sky? Into space? Is that possible?
There's no law in physics against it. Therefore, one day it'll happen. And I believe that day is very soon. We're on the verge of a very great change.
Space travel, it's always been such a joke.
Every vision's a joke until the first man accomplishes it.
Do you think it'll work?
That's what we're gonna find out.